And there you see it, ladies and gentlemen. We are on the precipice of the 65th running of the Good Vibrations Motorsports March Meet. How about that? We are less than a month away. Well, about a month away, but the March Meet is on its way. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 5 of the Kings of the Sport podcast. As always, I'm your host, Darren Williams Jr., and joining me tonight, as always, the West Texas hustler, Michael Anderson. How's it going, Michael?
What's up, man? It's all good. We've been down here in Texas freezing. It's been 20 degrees for the past 3 days. So, I had to turn the heater on in my shop so we get this show going. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. 20 degrees. Wow. It's about 65 to 70 out here in LA, Los Angeles, but we've gotten a lot of rain lately. It's been kind of weird, but I think it's kind of tailed off and it's getting back to Southern California again. But I'm excited about tonight's show. We have two great guests tonight and two great guests that kind of keeps this train running. Michael, fill us in.
So, we got, just take it on back, Mr. Bob Mclennan of the Champion Speed Shop team. Guy's a huge staple in this top fuel racing that we do. If you don't know him, you need to get to know him. He's a great guy. Been around the sport since I think it started. Family history of racing is just phenomenal. Goes way back from the beginning, of California racing. And then we got Mr. Blake Bowser, the owner, track operator of Famoso Raceway, puts on the March meet. Kind of excited to have him on. Got some big stuff to announce tonight about what's going on, especially with the growth of the class and where we're going to be coming here in about 30 days. It's a good time to be in nostalgia top fuel racing for sure.
Hold on, Michael. I can't hear you. Something's wrong with my headphones. Give me one quick second. Let me turn these things off real quick. Having a little technical difficulties right here. Give me 1 second. Can you hear me, Michael?
I can hear you good.
Okay, I can hear you now. Headphones went out. I don't know why. Technical difficulties were loud, but got to take them out.
Well, it happens. This is live TV. Anything can go on.
You're in the middle of talking. I can't hear Michael no more. What happened to him? But I can hear you now. So, but like you said,
that's a hard thing to say about me, that you can't hear me. That's a real hard thing to say. But yeah, great group of guys, man. We're super happy that they've come onto the show. Been trying to get them scheduled, get everybody there. So man, just cool. Got some good news coming out of the Murphy pit too. Talk a little bit about that. I know we're going to try to get him here on the next deal. I think he's hanging out in like Tahiti or Bora Bora right now on a cruise ship, is what he told me. He didn't have time for us right now, but whenever he got back, he's ready to go. But I know there's going to be some good stuff coming out of his camp. Just saw where Steve Mclennan is going to be coming out with that another big block Chevrolet car that's been around for a while. They're going to be coming out to start racing a few races this year. It seems like everybody's just wanting to come play with the old kings of the sport, man. You can't beat it.
Sounds good. And you said Jim Murphy's in Tahiti, man. And I'll tell you what, you talk about Jim Murphy, 4 March meet wins in his career, 1 behind the all-time leader, Big Daddy Don Garlits. Don Garlits has 5. And I want to see Jim Murphy get number 5 and ultimately pass Don Garlits before his career is said and done. But Michael, we forgot the fax machine, man. Before you start the news, we forgot the fax machine.
Well, yeah, you gotta break it out. Okay, go ahead. Get what do we got? Oh, we got a fax. Oh no. All right, here we go. Fresh off the fax machine. We got, I don't even know. We're just making this up as we go. But I would like to say that I think we've either got 5 or 6 March meet winners going to be racing in this race, previous March meet winners. I was kind of going through and looking at the list and what's going to be there and the caliber of cars that are going to be running at this race. I think this is going to be the fastest race ever for the nostalgia top fuel group, man. These cars that are going to be there, it's scary for me. Hell, I don't even know why I'm showing up other than, I've just been wanting to do this for years. But these are some running a lot of 560 cars, low 560s, high 50s. I was just asking Bob, I go, how did you get that small block Chevrolet to run a 563, back 5 or 6 years ago? And he goes, the same way I'm going to do it this year. So that's how intense it is, man. That's how intense it is.
So I'm sure we're going to have the bump spot pull again here at the March meet. You want to, take a guess real quick what you think the bump spot's going to be?
even with having this many cars there, we're at a solid 18. We're at a possible 19 car deal if one more guy is able to get his car ready to go. But even at that 18, if I was going to guess 6.0, 595, somewhere right around in there. Even at that, I mean, I guess probably the biggest deal. I've been there and watched the race in March from just the stuff that talking with the guys and what goes on is weather. Weather's such a big factor at that track whenever it's going on, is how it cools down. Once that sun goes down, it's like a whole nother world out there. We run E1 Saturday evening.
Yeah.
So I mean, let's just go qualify, and then you run E1 at Saturday evening, and the track can be 50 degrees, and it might be 40 degrees outside, 45 degrees. I mean, it changes everything for everybody whenever that happens. So this is going to be one hell of a race. I'm glad I picked this year. That's all I can tell you. I'm just glad I picked this year to show up, because there's going to be some heavy hitters, and that old Chevrolet is going to be coming for their ass. I can tell you that right now.
There you go. Shots fired. Shots fired. I'll tell you what.
Now that you bring that up, dude. So we have a private AAFD owner driver page, right? Like it's just us dudes on there. I think there's like 35 people on it. Bowen called out Hilton. First cue off the trailer, running for 100, baby. Smooth called him out, dude. I mean, really? There's some call outs going on in the background, but I was like, damn, this is getting serious.
So first qualifying session at the March meet, Friday afternoon, Sean Bowen and Tyler Hilton for $100.
Well, it's not confirmed, but he called him out. I'm just saying,
Okay. I'm looking forward to it, man. Just add to the drama. I'm loving it.
That's it.
Speaking of Tyler Hilton, so Tyler Hilton, I believe they were in Gainesville. They probably are still in Gainesville, but testing out the Great Expectations 3 car out at Gainesville Raceway. And it was also announced that they'll be debuting in Nitro Chaos later this year at Edgewater Sports Park in Ohio. So cool to see Tyler Hilton, Bobby Hilton, and the whole Great Expectations team debuting in Nitro Chaos. That should be a lot of fun. I'll be rooting for them. Yeah, man.
It's cool. I mean, I'm gonna tell you right now, I can't even imagine having 2 cars to have to deal with. But I mean, it's cool that they're gonna keep that big black Chevrolet car out there, staying in the mix and running. I'm sure it's going to be on a limited basis. I wouldn't doubt you see it at Bowling Green for sure. With running that quarter mile stuff. I think that his brother Mike Hilton got licensed too, but maybe run a little bit. So it'll be cool to kind of see what plays out of it, man. I mean, the more the merrier. Bring them all on.
Oh yeah. And I've heard that, and I don't know if I should say this on the show, but Bob Mclennan is supposed to be bringing a second car also. I don't know. We could probably talk about it tonight.
Oh,
was I supposed to say that?
Man, I would ask. I mean, it's sitting there. I think it's ready. Myself, I think Bobby ought to get in and drive the damn thing myself.
I think so too.
It is what it is.
We'll talk about it with him tonight.
That's right.
I hope I didn't get myself in trouble.
Heck yeah, man.
I hope I didn't. So. Hope I didn't.
I don't think you can get yourself in trouble, man. It's you just bring it up and then you call them scared if they don't do it, stuff like that. But I mean, we had a discussion one time about bringing 2 cars, and I was just like, God Almighty, it's just an unbelievable amount of work just on one car. So yeah, it'd be cool to see both of them out there, though. It definitely would be.
Yeah, for sure. And thank you guys all for tuning in tonight here at episode 5 of the Kings of the Sport podcast. My name is Darren Williams Jr., along with my buddy, the West Texas hustler, Michael Anderson. We got 2 great guests tonight, track operator of Famoso Dragstrip, not Raceway, Dragstrip, Blake Bowser, and the owner and crew chief of the Champion Speed Shop Topfield Dragster, and the head of AAFD, Mr. Bob Mclennan. So 2 great guests. And like I said, these are 2 guys that really make this train run. So really honored to have them on the show, taking time out of their busy days to come on the show tonight and talk to us. This show is basically to promote and hype up the March meet. It is the 65th running, 65 years of history of the March meet. Some of the greatest drivers in drag racing history have won this race. And so the legacy continues. And this episode here tonight is to hype that up and promote it. And we're going to do that. But before we do that, though, remember last episode, Michael, when I did the throwback segment of the week with the 50th anniversary nationals from Pomona?
Yeah.
Well,
that was awesome, man.
This week, we're going back to 2019 March Meet, Mindy Fry and Adam Sorokin. Have a look. It's safe to say the 61st running of the fabled March Meet back in 2019 was a whirlwind of a weekend for 2018 Heritage Series Top Fuel champion Mindy Fry and her high-speed motorsports team. After banging the blower the run before, Fry, who was dealing with a concussion that weekend, would endure a massive tire shake on the following run on Saturday. Adding insult to injury, realizing she had no brakes during the run, Fry will guide the car into the sand trap at the end of the racetrack. However, laced with championship medal, the high-speed motorsports team, headed up by Tom Sheelar, would get the car fixed and ready in time for round number 1 on Sunday. And in their first full pass, Fry would power her way to a new front engine top fuel record with a blistering 551 at over 265 miles per hour. And in the semifinals, Fry would lower the boom with the quickest and most incredible pass in the history of the class, with a 549 at 259 to become the first to dip into the 540s. Unfortunately, Fry's seesaw weekend would come to a disappointing end when the throttle linkage fell off in the final round, handing the win to Adam Sorokin, who claimed his second March Meet title. And ladies and gentlemen, that is your Kings of the Sport throwback segment of the week. Thanks for watching. Man, Michael, could you ever think about going 549 in a front engine top fuel dragster?
It's really crazy to think about what it would take to do that. I mean, everything's got to be perfect because these cars, they're kind of set up under, all these same rules. So you got to pick your way that you're going to do that. And it's just unheard of. But if it's going to happen, it's going to happen in good air on a good track like that, at Famoso, man. I mean, because like last year, whenever I was there, I think I got up one morning and like the air was like minus 600 foot, air density. I mean, whenever we were racing it, basically you were at sea level. I mean, it's unbelievable what they did. And Sheelar, man, just, hats off to that guy. I mean, he would tune the living crap out of that car. And I remember watching that, like whenever it happened, and I was like, this is just crazy what was going on.
And not only does she go 549, but she sets the record the round before with a 551. And then like you saw in the video, I mean, it was just kind of a terrible weekend. You bang the blower on one run, then you end up in the sand trap on the second run. She's dealing with a concussion and the layback back-to-back world record times. I mean, it's just amazing. Unfortunately, the car went nowhere in the final round and hand the win to Adam Sorokin. As you know, Adam Sorokin is one of my favorite top fuel drivers. So glad to see Adam win, but still, just what an amazing week from Mindy Fry. Mindy Fry is one person I want to get on this show. Like, that is a bucket list guest I want to get on the show is Mindy Fry.
Yeah, she's super cool. I got to meet her for the first time at the Hot Rod reunion. And, she was over there helping Kaiser on that car and got to talk to her for a little while and stuff. I think me and Kaiser were sitting there, jacking with each other. And she kind of looked over like, who's this dude? Like, what is he doing over here? Because I had never met her or whatever. And then she came over and talked a little bit. But, yeah, super cool lady. God almighty, hell of a driver. And, she's, I guess all the way around. I mean, hell of a good hand on the car and the whole 9 yards. I'd love to see her be able to wheel another car. Maybe we could put her in Mclennan's second car. I'm just saying.
Ooh, there you go.
Well,
I like it. I like it.
I mean, why not? I mean, she knows how to drive.
I like it. So we got a comment here from Justin Calkins. I mean, a historian of front engine top fuel dragster. That dude is amazing. Gives me a lot of great info. He says the bump spot. He thinks the bump spot is going to be a 573 at the March meet. 573. Wow.
Yeah. That's tight, Justin. And Justin is the one that's helped me a ton with that poster that we're going to have. And maybe next episode I'll have it ready. We can show everybody. But yeah, man, that guy is he's been an outstanding help, and I can't thank him enough for helping me with that project.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to Justin. So we're about to bring on our guest in just a second. And like I said, this episode is to hype up and promote the 65th running of the March meet. And I'll tell you what, we're about to have a great conversation. We'll do that in just what is that? There you go.
That's it, man.
You ready to get to it?
Let's go. I'm ready whenever you are. You know that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Blake Bowser and Bobby Mclennan is next.
If you own a beautiful modern muscle car like this 1320 Challenger, I'm sure you don't want it stolen. Because the Challenger and many other modern vehicles have an easily accessible neutral release strap. That was your coin holder in your central console, and beneath that there's this red cord that someone can pop, put it into neutral, and potentially easily steal your car. But at Destroyer1320.com, they have the TDS, Theft Deterrent System, which is a cover over that strap using factory mounting points so that you don't get popped by a thief. So make sure to go to Destroyer1320.com using promo code MMR for 15% off and get your Theft Deterrent System TDS and steal the thieves' hope.
Blake Bowser and Bobby Mclennan. How's it going, guys?
Great, man. Good to see you guys.
How's it going, Bobby?
Can Bobby hear us?
Uh-oh.
Oh, you're muted, Bobby.
Maybe
You're
not.
muted. Bobby, your mic is muted.
Undo your mute button, Bobby. You gotta love live TV, man. It doesn't get any better than this. So Blake, how you doing, man? How's everything going? You excited about what's going to be happening coming into your race this year?
I cannot believe 1 month from today we'll be running our test and tune for the March meet for the Group 1 and Group 2 cars, and then a month from tomorrow will be that 4-hour session for you guys. So that's it's crazy. It's a month away. We just got into February 1st today, and I'm already thinking, man, March is like here. Yeah,
absolutely.
I'm already here. You guys got to come. So you guys got to travel. So I got the easy part.
That's it. What do y'all have to kind of go through whenever you get prepared for this March meet? Like, what is the protocol like? And I mean, I know you got multiple years, if not decades, in this, but what goes into it?
Well, the March meet for me personally is about 10 months out of my year. I mean, I don't work every day on that, but I'm doing something about 10 months out of the year. We'll finish up everything with the event probably sometime in May, June, and then then June, July, I'll kind of take it easy with the March meet. Then August, it all starts again because we launch our pre-sales in October. So I've got to get all the logos ready, everything set, all ready to go for the event. So like I said, it's about 10 months out of the year. Now at the track, we just finished a full quarter-mile scrape, wall to wall, all the way down the entire quarter-mile. We're a quarter-mile concrete facility. So I just got done. Now we're starting all the prep this week and next week. And we have our first test and tune coming up February 10, 11, and 12, 3-day test and tune. So we're here we go, man. We're getting ready.
Outstanding.
Awesome. And we've been saying it all show so far, like 65 years of the March. You talk about the history and the tradition. For you, who's somebody who's running the race, is it any more added pressure knowing 65 years of history is at your hands and trying to make sure nothing goes wrong and everything goes off without a hitch?
Oh yeah, a lot of pressure. I mean, the first year the track put the event back on after Good Guys did it for a while. It was 2007, and I can honestly tell you, I was throwing up in the sink, touching my mouth with my toothbrush. It was that nerve-wracking because there's such a history. The Bakersfield Smokers started the event back in, they started the track in 54, and the first March meet was in 59. And it's been through some different owners through the track has and all that. And this is an important event for everybody, the media, the racers, the fans, us. The sport as a whole, the classes that we're talking about tonight, all that. It's a very important event. So yeah, there's quite a bit of pressure, and then there's things you can't handle, like the weather or whatever's gonna, things you just can't handle it, and you just gotta let that stuff go. But it's so easy to let it consume you and get tied up into it. So that's the hardest part, is learning what to not worry about because you can't handle it, and what to focus on because you can.
Well, I just want to say you and your team do a great job. So thank you for all you do, man. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Bobby, you're back, man. How's it going?
I'm back. Yeah, technology. That's it. Yeah. I had to get on the line and get Adam to help me out. Otherwise, I would.
So first off, I gotta ask: did I get myself in trouble at all bringing out talking about that second car? Did I get myself in trouble?
Yeah. That lasted for just about 8 seconds, and then, then something went over my and said, I was telling Michael I did that once, and it was with the Chrysler car and the Chevy car. The result was we threw the rods out of the Chrysler car. We made 3 passes and kicked the rods 3 times and didn't qualify. We qualified the Chevy, and we blew the blower off on the burnout. So other than that, it was a great weekend. That's not going to happen again.
Well, for somebody who's been around the sport for as long as you have, how excited are you about this upcoming March meet? 65 years and competing in it.
It's amazing. I mean, my mom's going to be 90 on March 5th. She's been going to the March meet since 1958 with my dad. So how's that?
Oh my God.
I grew up with that race. We actually ran the concessions in the 70s for that race. My dad and Marvin Miller and their family were close friends. So I've been into that. I've been at the patch for. I know where the water fountains are that Blake doesn't know about. So.
Well, for everybody who's tuning in right now in the chat, and like I said, thank you guys all for tuning in here tonight. Put in the group chat your first ever March meet you ever attended, and maybe your favorite March meet. Throw that in the chat, and we'll play it here on the show. But you can take it, Michael.
Well, mine's pretty simple. I went last year for the first time, but I wasn't running. This year is going to be my first time to be running in it. And I cannot tell y'all how excited I am about this. Like, I don't know if y'all know. I mean, I can tell you right now, Bobby, whenever he probably first met me, was like, who is this guy? And why is he talking so loud? He's only been here 10 days, that kind of stuff. And it's because I really love this damn racing, man. It's just crazy. And now, look, man, like Bobby said, he's been going his whole life. I'm a guy that's been waiting a decade to be able to run at this deal. And I'm so excited and want to do everything that I can to help promote this race in any way, shape, or form. It's just y'all going to see me, walk around just saying all kinds of crazy stuff. It's going to be a great time. And I can't thank Bobby and Blake enough for even taking my phone calls to talk about it. It's been a fun experience to be able to do my little part to help promote, my little small area of the world that we live in Texas. It's going to be a good time, man. But so, one thing that I think we probably need to bring up a little bit about is, Bobby and the Jim Mclennan, association of these guys and what it does and you might even tell people too, Bobby, about whenever you bring in the kids or the young men that are in the tech school and kind of what all that deal's about, because for me that's a huge thing. I'm not a big college proponent. I'm all about working with your hands and getting out there and making a living. And whenever I see that, and I've been involved in it a couple of times, I really enjoyed seeing that going on.
Yeah, so, Dad up here with Champion Speed Shop, in Northern California, he was it. He had Gatelli Wars, Gatelli Champion Wars, and Half Moon Bay and Fremont. But Dad's always been somebody to help the little guy, right? When we travel, we go to Bowling Green, we go to Tulsa. I saw your dad went to the shop and couldn't afford a manifold, but he gave me one and said, pay me when you can. And that type of thing. So when Dad passed in 2007, we formed the Jim Mclennan Drag Racing Foundation. We started it small with Skyline College, their automotive course here at the local JC. And so we give, we haven't done it since COVID play, but this year the graduating class will get a set of tools, each member of the graduating class from the Jim Mclennan Drag Racing. And you guys, half these kids have never been to a drag race, right? And so, I say, here it's from Jim Mclennan, this is a history. And by the way, let's get out to the track. And unfortunately up here, we only have Sears Point. And it's the big show. There's one alcohol show and maybe 4 or 5 other events. rest of it's all road racing. So we took that, and then by just pure luck, we ran into Vic Posey at the Bakersfield College, which Blake attended.
Okay.
And so we struck a deal with them to start the Nitro intern. And so we place, well, I think during the last March meet, I think we placed over 8 kids, right around we try to not make it 2 students per team. Some teams are great. Other teams are, really on it and just not set up for it. But as time has gone on, it's been wonderful. So this year we'll be there. Vic will have the kids. I call them kids. They'll have the students. We'll place them in the pits. Some of them have never been to a drag race, and here they are, white tires at the starting line at the March meet. So it's a great deal. And Blake has been incredible in his support. So we're very fortunate.
Awesome. And so coming into this March meet as well, a lot of the talk has been a 16-car field. And right now, I believe we have a solid 18 or 19 cars. But for you, Blake, there's certain stuff that has to fall into place for us to get a full traditional 16-car field. Can you fill us in on that?
Well, we like the idea of, and that's why it's been challenging for us to go back to 16 because we've been so low on car count the past few years. We're fortunate the car count's coming back. For the fan sake and for the excitement of the race, I want to have a bump spot. Like if we have 12 cars, an 8-car field, there's some excitement there. Guys got to make runs to get in the field. You don't just show up and get in. So that's the challenge with the 16-car thing is where do we, say, okay, I've got to have so many cars. So Bob and I have talked, and Jim Young, and we're looking at if we have 16 or less, obviously we won't have a bump spot. So we'll go with an 8-car deal and a 4-car little shootout. And I promised you earlier, Darren, I have a name for that, and I haven't got one yet for the 4-car. Boise does a little tater bake for funny car. So we're gonna something like that. But it sounds like we're gonna be okay. The only thing that might bite us is there's some guys that have trouble getting out of their shops if they live back east. If they get snowed in, it's a shame. We're out here 65 degrees here today in Bakersfield, and there's guys back east that can't even get to their shops or get out of their shops. So that may cost us some cars. But sounds like we're going to be okay. So that's the biggest thing is have a bump. We got to have exciting qualifying sessions. We got to have a reason to go out there and try and qualify. It makes it fun to see the bump spot get lowered as we go through these sessions, and it's good for the fans. Without the fans and the cars going out there and making runs and trying to lower that bump spot, there's just no show. So we want to have a good show, and that's why we do that.
Mm-hmm. And for me, I obviously want to see a 16-car field, top field cars going at it, 16 cars, 4 rounds. But I understand your point of a bump spot because it adds to the drama, it adds to the excitement. You think about, Q3 Saturday afternoon, some of the biggest names in the class trying to fight their way back into the show. I mean, it's nothing more better than that. So I totally understand that. And for you, Bob, how important is it for a class for front engine top field to have a 16-car field at the March meet?
Well, it's incredible. And again, not because Blake's on the show, but this guy has thrown his support into this 16-car show. It's a huge amount of money to put up to have a 16-car show versus an 8-car show. So I went to Blake and I just said, hey, what do you think about this? And we have a unique payout structure that is Blake had to buy into it, and he did. And Jimmy Young came up with custom floaters for $10,000. Planet Fitness is in for $5,000. So that's where the whole $60,000 purse comes in. And so, to get these cars, as Jimmy Young would say, going home empty-handed on Sunday is just not fun. And there's 2 schools of thought out there, right? Well, then you try harder next year. But the cost to get to Bakersfield from east of the Mississippi. I mean, it's crazy. So what we've done, I don't know if I can jump into this now, but we've got a purse that's similar to it's patterned after the Indy Racing League, where the Indy Racing League doesn't pay a winner after their race, right? Every car is paid to show up. And then that's how they entertain the fans. The fans basically get a great show. They're willing to pay, amount of dollars to attend the race. Same thing with the March Meet. People that go to the March Meet know this is the race of races. So having a 16-car show really affords us it helps us grow the class. 4 years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, we had 9 cars for the 8-car show, and this year, we'll possibly have 19 cars, 18 cars for sure for a 16-car show, and then with the extra money, we're going to pay, a little bit to the non-qualifiers. We're going to pay some tow money, and we're also, so that's the pattern, and that's where Blake bought into it. It's to grow the class. But one thing that Blake wanted was, this is the March Meet, and so $10,000 to the winner, $5,000 to the runner-up. And under my original formula, that doesn't work, right? We gotta where we're gonna pay the other cars, right? But this is I can tell the passion that Blake has for the March Meet, and this is our Indy 500, right? So we go ahead, we announce it, and we got a little pushback, and Bobby Hilton is my number one critic, but we made it work. And so with the tow money that we have, Bobby led the charge here in that he donated his travel money to pay the semis, the quarterfinals and the semis more money. In my format, everybody got the same. So I'm here tonight to tell you that we've switched things around a little bit. So now each qualifying car gets $2,000. Each non-qualifying car gets $1,000. There'll be 5 cars that are traveling. Each one of those cars gets $1,500. And so now we've got $2,000 for each qualifying run, each qualifier, $2,500 to the quarterfinals, finalists, $3,000 to the semis, $5,000 to the runner-up, $10,000 to the runner. That still gives a little bit of room to, whether it's low qualifier per round, whether it's take the average of the qualifier. We're Blake and I, Jimmy Younger, playing with that on how to make it exciting, right? Something so that Mike English and Donnie Couch can talk about it to the fans and say, okay, here's what we got. We got Michael Anderson, the dump truck motor of the world. We're gonna run, right? And so we're looking to have some fun, and I'll tell you, we've got a great group of guys, and with the owner of the Indy 500 behind us, we're gonna grow. So hope I wasn't a little long-winded there, but that's the
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Oh man, I want to tell you right now, and I've talked with a lot of the guys, and man, they can't say how much they appreciate what's going on with this race. You talk to these guys that have been around it 20, 25 years, half their life. A lot of these guys are half their life. They've been going to that race, and they're like, man, I haven't ever seen it like this, where this is going on. And this is exciting. They know it's exciting. So, I mean, we can't push it out there enough to everybody. This is huge. I mean, you look at a lot of the races that go on, even on TV right now. They say, we're giving 60,000 or we're giving 30,000. Well, they kind of just give it to everybody. They just say that it's a big deal to have a $10,000 winner, and then it blows on down to what it is now. I mean, and then coming across to help these guys get to the track. I mean, that just goes to show you how much these guys are really wanting to put forth effort to get these cars there, because, I mean, we are the show, baby. whenever we're there, it's crazy. And it's, the guys that are coming, we need to be there because they're top contenders. And the faster it is, the more these fans are going to love it. And that's where it's all about. Some fans out there watching what these cars are doing.
Definitely.
Yeah, and this is let me jump in. This is all possible because of the outside money coming in, the custom floaters and the Planet Fitness, because the track is just putting up basically a normal purse, comparable to a 16-car field for funny car, close to it. But the outside money is making all this payout at the bottom take place. Not payout, but the travel funds, the D&Q money, all that strictly is coming from the support that Jimmy and Bobby put together. Because I couldn't do that. There's no way I could make that number, because then I have to turn on to the same thing to funny car, fuel altered, and then I'm not making any money off the event. I can't do that. So, and I've always told Bobby, if you can bring money to the table, I won't touch. I'm not getting a penny of this, not one penny of this outside money. It's going right to the drivers or the team owners, whoever the case may be. So it's great to see that, and I welcome that. In any class you want to bring in extra money, we won't touch it. You guys want to spend it a certain way? Great, go for it.
And that's so unique, and and this isn't a hit on the good guys or NHRA, but the good guys basically took, if we were to bring any money, they got 50%. NHRA at this point, you bring money, they get 100%, but you got to haggle with them. So now that's probably going to change this year, but Blake again is he's a pioneer here to make this work. And it's an experiment. I mean, it's, no one's ever done this in Top Fuel before. It's always been, winner gets it and that's it. But the world has changed to get participation so that the fans have a great time, and look at, Michael's personality is absolutely incredible. I mean, I don't care if you're with him for 5 minutes. You're in the sport, right? You're in it. Whether you're going to get, an autograph, or you're going to get introduced to somebody, you're going to get to the starting line, you're going to get a parking pad, you're going to get something from Michael. I guarantee you.
I've told everybody. I said I don't care if the winner got a hot dog and a Coke, and all I want is that wooden trophy. I ain't worried about the rest of it.
Yeah. Blake, I'm gonna scoop you here.
Okay.
So this is I heard this through the I guess the artist, Blake. Is that what I would call him for the trophy? Your trophies?
Oh, I know where you're going with this. Yeah, designer. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So this year's trophy, Michael.
Yeah.
Is the life size? I don't know. I'm gonna say life, but it's patterned after the old. Huge. I mean, it's got to be what, 4 feet tall?
Between 3 and 4 feet, something like that. Yeah.
The winning unreal.
Yeah.
I got the scoop from him, and I'm with you, Michael. I'm racing for the trophy, right? I'll
That's right.
Yeah, we found a way years ago to incorporate the old triangle trophy that was given out back in the day, along with the Wally. For a while, we were doing a separate trophy, this and that, and we're like, we need to make this. So instead of having a little cup with the car on it, the Wally's on there. So, and thank you to NHRA, we have like a silver Wally this year, so it's pretty cool. We tried to get the big Wally, but that didn't happen. So we got an all silver Wally. So David Layton at Modern Trophies, who's putting this all together, builds them every year for us. So it's going to be big. It's at least 3 feet. Got the Wally on one side, the triangle's offset, and got the little plaque, in the center, and then the information on the bottom. They're going to be really cool. Yeah. And that's just one little surprise we had. We got some more that when you guys get there, you're going to see. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Wait, hold on. How do you not get the big Wally for winning the March meet, though? Like 65 years of history, one of the biggest independent drag races in the world. You can't get a big Wally? Really?
That's what I said. Yeah, that's what I said. I was like, come on. Yeah, they were like, well, we don't want to establish precedents. And I go, okay, well, how about we say this? If anybody puts on a race for 65 years, you get to have one of those for the winner. So, but we're making up for it, and everything else with the design of the trophy and stuff. So it's going to be cool. Yeah.
And we're streaming live here on Competition Plus, YouTube and Facebook. Want to thank Bobby Bennett for that. And fans of Competition Plus and followers of Competition Plus, they're the biggest drag racing fans out there, and they know their drag racing in their history. But for somebody who's probably in the area, from March 2nd to 5th, and knows drag racing, but doesn't really know about the March meet, and is kind of on the fence about coming, why should they come to the March meet, and what can they expect?
You want me to fill that one? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go first. I tell you what, it's more than a drag race. It's sensory overload. I mean, there's stuff happening everywhere. You showed that video earlier. I think in the 19 final there, you saw the Ferris wheel in the background. I got a crazy idea one year. Let's just get a Ferris wheel there. So people were on the Ferris wheel taking rides, watching cars go down the quarter mile. So we just like doing things like that once in a while. And there's so much happening there besides the drag race. There's the vendor row, the swap meet, the car show. The pits are wide open. The camping area is, the only thing that probably outdoes our camping is probably the one in Brainerd, the zoo in Brainerd. So there's just so much going on there, and everybody is so open. All the racers, you can walk right up and talk to them, and there's no ropes, blocking off the pit areas and all that. It's wide open. Come hang out. Everybody's still accommodating. You could show up there, get yourself in the gate, and that's it. You can eat and drink off somebody else the entire weekend, find somewhere to stay. Everyone is so happy to be there. And then when the racing ends, that's just the start of things. At night out there, you guys have seen it. There's, the Van Horns have the root beer float rig that goes around, serves root beer floats. There's fireworks going off, and there's nitro cars being fired at 2 o'clock in the morning. And it's bitching. That's it.
That's awesome. I'm gonna let you get in real quick, Michael, but I just want to ask you guys and everybody in the chat, at Famoso, have you ever been on the left side grandstand on that side? It is totally different than on the right side. It is a whole different experience, man. I'm like, oh my goodness, it's crazy. It's crazy.
The first time whenever I actually got to go out there and, got to the track, and I just took a minute, went, walked around, kind of, figured out where I was at. I kind of got up in the stands and looked out across there to the parking area, and I was like, this is just crazy how many RVs are there. Well, whenever I came to race at the Hot Rod reunion, I pull up, and that whole side out there in front of the track is full of RVs, full of waiting to get in to the deal. I really don't, because we get so focused on racing and everything that goes on. There's got to be just some crazy party and stuff going on over there on that side. I mean, I probably need to stop and go over there at least one time to check it out.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's more than a drag race. We jokingly call it the Woodstock of drag racing because there's just so much going on. We have bands playing at night. Guys just show up, just want to just hang out and play. And so, Joe Walla comes there every year, and we other bands that just hang out, and barbecues everywhere, and it's just so inviting to be there and walk around and take it all in.
And I want to give some love to, not only Top Fuel, but Funny Car and Fuel Altered as well. Can you fill us in on what's the car count for those two classes as well?
Yeah, we're fortunate. We get probably the largest nitro car count in the country. We're going to be 60 plus cars total when you figure Top Fuel, Funny Car, Fuel Altered. There's no race in this country that can say that, not an NHRA race anywhere. So 22, 23 Funny Cars, maybe 16 Fuel Altereds. We even have a Nitro Pro Comp class that's a 590 index. That incorporates a mix of cars, rear engine, Top Fuel, Fuel Altered, Funny Cars. Last year, Lyle Greenberg won it driving his Cone Hunter Funny Car. So that's got a pretty cool purse. So we got a lot of Nitro cars there, plus 450 other, all of our Group 1 and Group 2 cars. So there's 500 plus cars on the property. It's pretty intense.
Hey, Michael, I'm telling you what, man, I'm gonna be working the event for Competition Plus, doing the video and the editing and the articles and stuff like that. But at least one time, maybe one session or one elimination round, I'm gonna get myself. They have a great Mexican spot there at the racetrack that sells burritos. I'm gonna get myself a carne asada burrito. I'm gonna sit up in the stands and watch me some nitro, man. I can't wait.
The funnest part of the deal is sitting at the big end. Sitting at the big end is where it's at, man. That the starting line's cool, but whenever they're doing 260 miles an hour by your head, it doesn't get any better than that right there. It's awesome.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And I want to get before we move on, I want to give a big shout out though to Nitro America because he's in the chat. My buddy Les Mayhew does a lot of great stuff for the Heritage Series and Nostalgia Top Fuel. I want to find his comment right here. He also goes on to say, "Good barbecue on that side of a track." And so I'll tell you what, if you haven't already, subscribe to Nitro America on YouTube because what this guy does video wise is amazing. He helps me a lot with a lot of my stuff. So just want to say thank you to him and look forward to seeing him at the March meet. Les does a lot. Nitro America. And he did that great intro we had at the beginning of this show. So shout out to Les Mayhew. Michael, anything?
Yeah, he's a cool dude. He's a cool dude for sure, and glad that he's a part of this group. And Bobby's been a real good help with Les and making stuff happen, and having him scheduled for the races, the video, and it's cool that Blake and them let those guys out there to be able to do that. I mean, it's these guys are all over the fence, and it's kind of like you say, you think he's got 5 different cameras, and it's really just him running around. I think he stole my golf cart like 5 times at the last race. So yeah, cool dude, man. Cool dude. So Bobby.
Uh-oh.
Are we back?
We can hear you.
Look at that.
We can hear you.
I must have had some of that West Texas wind blow through.
Yeah.
But so I mean, here's what I think, Bobby. I really feel like Mindy Fry needs to run that second car of yours. I think we could make this happen.
Michael?
I'm just saying. I mean, I bet she has her own crew. Now, they might not know how to work on a small block, but I bet she could put together some people to make it happen.
Yeah. Well, you just keep dreaming, brother. No problem.
He just doesn't want. He don't want Adam to think he's cheating on him. Is what it is. The bromance would go away. Then everybody be upset and out of whack.
There's only one. That's right.
So, what do you think about Sean Bowen calling out Tyler off the trailer Q1?
Yeah. Well,
I think it needs to happen.
You know who I'm going to be rooting for?
Oh my! Blake, you better go make sure that security's up and going. It might get a little rowdy down there in the pits come about race time.
It's going to look like the no prep guys in the starting line. Got to keep the group separated.
No, it's good fun. There's a lot of guys that are on there, man. They're talking. It's it's just an exciting time for Top Fuel. I feel like it's probably I've been watching this for a long time. Y'all been in it a long time, and it just seems like every time we turn around, there's some kind of new news that's coming out, and I'm just like, man, you guys keep it going because all it does is help. And then what y'all did for this race, man, the buzz is out there, social media wise. I mean, it's just boom, 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 boom. So I hope to see 100,000 people up in them stands.
Well, I mean, there's 100,000. I'd have to add like 90,000 more seats. Yeah, we're definitely not there, but
well.
And there was a time we were considering having, and Bobby knows this, having a 4-car field. We were that close to getting where we were in trouble. This class was definitely in trouble, and it's gone from, and this has happened since I've talked to Steve Gibbs about this. Steve Gibbs is a great friend of ours. You guys all know who that is. And if you don't, take the time to meet him this year at the March meet, he'll be there. Just a wealth of knowledge. That man, I talk to him all the time. He's terrific. Doesn't mind sharing anything. He's been around NHRA competition forever. You see it. You see the funny car class go up and Top Fuel class goes, and it kind of bounces around. We're starting to see that now, seeing Top Fuel go up and the fuel altered classes losing a few guys over there. Funny cars, a few guys are going to the fuel altered class. So, but bottom line, we still keep that total car count. That's what's great about it, is we keep the fans still get to come see the 60 plus cars, whichever way they're all burning nitro. So that's the magic part right there. So, but this has been great working with Bob and Jim, and because that class, like I said, was almost dead, and we've, it's revitalized and it's on its way back up for sure.
And so we have a question here from 2-time March Meet champion in 2020 Heritage Top Fuel champion, Mr. Pete Wittenberg. He says 60 fuel cars. How's that going to work Saturday night? And basically, what he's just talking about is that round one. So we'll have final qualifying Saturday afternoon, and then round one Saturday evening. So you just fill us in. I know a lot of people have been kind of questioning that and stuff like that with Top Fuel running last Saturday night. So you can fill us in on that.
Well, we'll have to pattern the funny car qualifying. So 2 on Friday, 1 on Saturday, then first round Saturday afternoon, late afternoon, early evening. I mean, for us, 4 or 5 o'clock hopefully is the goal, 4 o'clock or so, something like that. We will be, and I talked to Bob about this, and we can make it public knowledge that wherever we're at in the schedule, we're going to cut in this year with the nitro category. So if it's noon Friday and it's scheduled to go at noon, we're cutting in. We're going to go do that. We've got to keep you guys on schedule, the nitro car schedule, so they can get the turnaround and get back. And, we can run A, B, C, D gas, all those cars on a little bit of a cooler track, and we'll be okay. It's tough to run the little tire cars, the top fuel cars, even funny cars. They make a lot of horsepower out there, and so we're gonna make every effort to cut in on those sessions, noon and 3 on Friday, I think it is, and Saturday afternoon. So we're not going to be out there late at night on Saturday trying to run nitro cars. We should be in the pits barbecuing by then.
I got it. So like the Big Show, we're on live TV. We're on live TV at the March meet, just like the Big Show. We're cutting it in. It's noon o'clock. We're running nitro cars. I love it.
That's quite different.
And I'm not trying to, throw the Group 1 and Group 2 cars under the bus or anything. We know we can run them at different times and be okay. We start running hot rod cars at 8:30 in the morning out there, and it's probably 45 degrees, and that track can't be much more than that. So we can make it work for them. We just need to really work this year, be really aware of our schedule, and allow the top fuel, the funny car, and fuel alter guys to have a good track and go out there and put on a good show.
I love it. I love it. So
that's never happened. That, just so everybody knows, if you have an oil down or, somebody nicks the wall, that basically, it pushes the show back, 45 minutes, hour and a half, and so forth. And so what Blake's saying, that at 4 o'clock, we're running top fuel,
right?
Whether, no matter what happens, right? And that's, I don't know of any other show that's done that. Usually you're making up and, trying to make the race and trying to keep the fans going. So and it was, again, it's, this whole thing has been, we've got a person that's willing to listen to the top fuel class, to the funny car class, and he's getting it, right? And so I think we're on the right. No, I mean, it's great. So I think it'll, last year, Blake, was it the March meet that we had we only had 2 qualifiers? We had to.
Yeah,
it was last year. Yeah, we considered doing a Sunday morning session, and we didn't.
That's right. Yeah. And the group decided to set the field, and the number 1 car was left out. So that's not going to happen this year.
Right.
So anyhow.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, I'm just going to say this, because I like to say this stuff. 1, we're kings of the sport, and 2, we are the show. So there you go.
Well, and again, I'm not trying to throw
I want to talk about this too, but
no, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about Steve Gibbs. I didn't want to leave this out, but the group's bringing some cackle cars, right? I think I read that on the social media that they were going to be coming out with some cackle cars too, right?
Yeah. So Steve has a booth there, sets up and promotes his Nitro Revival show, which if you haven't been to that's last year I got to go visit with Bobby there for a while at that show. Darren, you were there. That thing is everything the reunion used to be years ago. It's happening in Irwindale in November. That thing's badass. It's cool. I mean, the cars out there, the cackle cars on display are amazing. So and so what he'll do is he'll have a handful of cars on display, and they'll do random fire-offs in the pits just to entertain everybody there. But also his ultimate goal is promote his show. We'll drop some fuel off there because they are entertaining our fans. So we'll get some fuel dropped off there, and they can fire off the cars. And that's how everybody there works together, and we all have a good time. We're all there for the better, of the sport, and we all want to improve things and entertain the fans and put on a good race. So Yeah, it works great. And man, Steve's terrific. Yeah.
Yeah. Steve Gibbs is a great dude, and he actually, got me a Calco car at the Nitro Revival last year. I warmed up John Weeby's Top Fuel car at the Nitro Revival last year, and it was amazing. So, Blake, before we get out of here, man, anything that we probably missed on the March meet that you kind of want to fill us in on, and tell everybody where they can get tickets and for this, so they can show up in March.
Yeah, right now on our website, you can just jump on FamosoDragstrip.com. It's all right there. If you feel better buying at the gate, no need to purchase them ahead of time. We like it, but we can kind of plan for who's coming, but we don't expect that. About half our event is walk up. So there's still, that crowd that wants to pay at the gate, which is fine. All of our gates open at 7 a.m. every day where they're ready to go. They're all open and come on in. It's a full day. I mean, you can come there on Saturday for $40, walk in, and you could stay until 2, 3 in the morning. And if you don't walk out of there wore out and expend every ounce of energy you have, you did something wrong, because there is, like I said earlier, it is sensory overload. There's so much to see and experience and smell and hear, and you cannot do that for $40 anywhere in this country. I guarantee you that. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, just jump on the website there. We've got, our full event credential for 5 days is $125. There's people that spend that much to go to a race for one day in other places and that kind of stuff. So it's still very affordable. It's very, we're still an older looking facility, a throwback in appearance, but we are contemporary in every way. The aluminum grandstands, the track surface, the safety equipment, the timing equipment. We've got the jet dryers, the rotators. We've got it all. We love looking nostalgic, but under that, take the body off, we are contemporary in every way. So, and we try and keep that reflect in the pricing and the tickets. I'm kind of going off course here, but we try and keep the pricing affordable for the fans, and come on out and have a good time. So it's a blast, man.
Two final questions for me about Bakersfield. So first off, will there be another Lucas Oil Series event there this fall? And also, were you there for Larry Dixon's testing crash in '95 during his rookie year? Did you see it?
I was not there. That was actually one of the warm-ups, right? That happened during the warm-up. Yeah. Was I there or not? No, I don't think so. We had a couple. We had Don Perdome had one in a private test session. Not all folks know about that, but he actually flipped a car. Dixon's car was the car. Did it refire? No, that was he on the shutdown. That he blew a tire, I think. Right? Yeah. No, I was not there for that. I don't know where the heck I was, but that was during the Bud warm-up days back in the day when all the pros would come test there at the track. That was a deal that Jack Williams put together with Kenny Bernstein, and that was a pretty cool deal. You talk about cold though, being out there in January. Ooh man, that was not. That's first question. Go ahead.
and no, just second question. Lucas Oil.
Yeah. We'll be having that in October again this year. Yeah, so that worked out with NHRA. We hadn't had one for a while, but we were realizing that there is tracks just shutting down left and right, and restrictions are closing in on all of our facilities. So we had to step in there and go ahead and do a Lucas Oil event last year with Mike Rice. Mike Rice worked his tail off getting enough staff there to make it happen, and it worked out pretty well for all of us. So yeah, we're doing that again.
Awesome, man. Well, Blake, man, thank you for taking the time out and joining us here today. Taking time out of your busy schedule to join us here on episode 5 of the Kings of the Sport. We got a little more stuff to talk about, toast and stuff like that with Bobby. But like I said, Thank you for taking the time out, and look forward to seeing you in March, man.
Love it. Thanks, guys. We'll see you here.
See you later, Blake.
All right. Be safe. Thanks, guys.
Bye, Blake.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man who makes the Indy 500 run, Blake Bowser. Thanks again for taking time out of his busy night to come join us here tonight here on Kings of the Sport. So, Michael, want to say something?
Man, so we got a little bit of some news coming out of the Mclennan pit over there and the AAFD group and what's going to be going on in the schedule this year in the Heritage Series, and Mr. Mclennan, and I think with a little bit of help of some other folks in Bowser and talking about what's going to happen at this Tulsa race is the Heritage, and it looks like Bobby's just going to go ahead and take it take it right there on the chin or on his shoulders, or I don't know, on a trailer or something. But he's actually going to be taking over that race. He is going to be the man over what's going to happen, how it's going to go. Man, hats off to him for taking a race to really, kind of fix and move forward with. I've talked to him a few times about it. Super excited about what he's going to try to do, and we're here to support him in every way that we can. So I guess take it from there, Bobby. I mean, how are you feeling about taking on this race? I think it's been a few years since you put one on, but I'm excited for you. So tell me what you got.
Well, it's better than running 2 cars, I'll tell you that. Yeah, so so here's the deal. We've got our Heritage Series, and we've got five races, right? And each one of those 4 other races are established events, right? You got the March Meet, you've got the Night Fire, that's wonderful, and you've got the 2 reunions, and then we've got Tulsa, and Todd Martin, the owner of the track. I mean, he's a race car guy, right? I mean, he got it, and it's been tough, right? The crowd count, the car count, just running the whole thing. And as Jimmy and I have talked, to bring our show to a new track is really tough to make it work financially. So all of Jimmy's events are at established tracks and events. So, and he's gotten the ownership groups of those tracks to kick in on the Extreme Top Fuel Series. He works his butt off, right, to get custom floaters and other sponsorships, to make it work and to take care of those cars that are, again, I call it, east of the Mississippi, so that they have a good schedule. So with that in mind, I mean, to all of you that don't know me, I mean, my dad owned Fremont Dragstrip and Half Moon Bay Dragstrip and Champion Speedway. So I mean, I grew up in the operation side of drag racing, and then prior to that, he used to tour with the Champion Speed Shop car, and he was not a touring guy, didn't like the travel, and so he pretty much hung it up in, I think, 61, 62, when he sold the Champion car to the Masters and Richter car, our family. And that was pretty much the end of the racing until I started again in 85 with the good guys in, minimum events. But the promotion side has been something that, I grew up with. So I thought, well, let's look at this thing. I mean, Todd does his best there, and he puts on the race and it's the structure, but it just hasn't been what he wants and what we want. So I went to Todd and I said, look, you'd be interested in basically releasing the Heritage race to me, lock, stock, and barrel. I want a flat fee. I want to run the entire event. I don't want any, this isn't just Top Fuel. It's from A to Z. And yeah, so anyhow, we made a deal. We got Mike Rice involved from NHRA. I got the okay from NHRA. And so Bobby Mclennan and AAFD and all of us, Blake is basically a consultant for me, or with me to, look at everything. And, we're using Tulsa's staff, but all of the promotion, everything that the Heritage race consists of, will come to us for those decisions. So whether or not we'll have a 16-car show, I think we will. The purse certainly is going to be structured differently. It won't be a $10,000 to win race. It's basically going to be running for, the winner will get more than the qualifiers, but that structure is there to put butts in the seats. with that, there's going to be a lot of other things to put butts in the seats. This is basically a fundraiser for the Top Fuel Series. Every nickel we make out of this race is going to go to supplement the purse for all the future races. So that race is in September. So we're only going to have, one more race for 2023. And so, but we will take all of those proceeds, and that's going to go towards the purses for the remaining races for 2024. We've got a 1-year deal with Todd with 2 1-year options. So if it's successful, we're gonna bring it on for the next couple of years. I've got some ideas that if you're looking to bring 8,000 to 10,000 people to a track with just Top Fuel cars, that's all. You're not going to do it, right? You got to have, in today's world, right? The street outlaw guys are knocking them dead. Maybe there's a small match race there. It's there, as Jimmy and I have talked. It's a different. Our demographic has changed, and if we want to be able to be financially fiscal, and get the money to the cars so that they can travel and we can have fun. We can have fun in the pits, right? We can have fun with people. We can get the posters made. We can get the autograph session set. We can on and on. If you've got the funds to do it, you can make this thing work. And the average track operator, like Blake said, he can do it for Top Fuel. But you can't do it for Top Fuel and not do it for Funny Car, not do it for the Fuel Alters, not do it for the Pro Mods and so forth. So they're under a tight ship, and when they work for those existing tracks, they're Grand Slams, right? I mean, they're a huge moneymaker, and hopefully we fall into that category in September. So this is the first that it's come out. We put out a small press release to Competition Plus today, but we wanted to roll it out with Darren and his show. So all of none of our group knows, other than Michael and Jimmy Young. And I guess I should back up, thinking that Jimmy Young hasn't told anybody. I think the chances are slim and none. So I think it may have gone. Anyhow, it's there. So we're excited. We've got some ideas, some promotional ideas. Adam has agreed to quit his job. He's going to move to Tulsa, and he's going to become a radio disc jockey out there. So, no, it should be fun. So that's two.
Awesome. Well, man, thank you for taking over this race. I really do. Like, you think about Tulsa and the history within drag racing, like the NHR World Finals used to be in Tulsa. Like, there's so much drag racing history there. So I'm great that, the series is going to go back there and continue to race there. So I think I missed this. Can you tell us what other classes will be racing there with the Top Fuel cars?
Yeah. So we, Funny Cars have, so Top Fuel, Funny Car, A Fuel, and then just assortment of the other classes that make up the local stuff. Todd would like to have the pinup girl contest still be a part of it, which is pretty well attended. The A gas class, they won't be racing, but as far as the A gassers back there, I mean, there's a ton of them that would love to attend. So, there'll be different components again to put butts in the seats, but it's a full NHRA Heritage Series class schedule. Gotcha. And the funny cars, there aren't a lot of funny cars back there, so it will be a points race for them. But the purse certainly is not going to be what it normally is. Last year there were 2 cars, so I have to talk to those guys on how we're going to structure that. But that was part of the deal with NHRA, that we had to have that.
And we have a question here from Daniel Wilkinson. He says, "Bobby, can we get the right lane fixed at Tulsa?" So talk about the right lane there.
So that was one of the conditions. that we were taking it over, that lane is going to be repaired. Todd and I have talked about it, and there's it's pretty unique there. That track is on a quarry, and they do get settlement. And Todd was not aware that it was as bad as I said it was. That lane, there wasn't one car that went down it that survived it. So yes, it's going to be addressed, but that's as far as I've got as far as what's going to happen, how, and so forth. But I've got a pretty good relationship with him going, so I think we're going to be okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll tell you, and I've said this from the beginning, that Tulsa race, and it's kind of like the Denver race, man. That's the center of America. I mean, there's nobody coming out ahead unless you're Paul Schultz or John Brook, to show up at that race. So I mean, everybody's got to travel to get to that. And last year's race, as far as the racing went, was freaking awesome. I mean, it was just badass top fuel racing that was going on there. And you take anything from the semis to the finals, it was unreal what was going on in those. So hats off to Bobby for doing that. That's a huge responsibility to take on, is putting on a race. I've put on like races that were just one element of a bigger race, and it was like wanting to pull my damn hair out. So, I know we're going to help him, and he'll probably lean on us some about this deal, but it is, oh my gosh, it's huge for him to do that, and I'm glad that he stepped up to make something happen like that.
Yeah, and I think too, just like what Michael said, I'm not doing it alone, right? This is all the top fuel guys. I mean, you do. It's like what is that phrase when you let the inmates run the prison, right? So here we are. We've got the top fuel class that basically is going to run the race, and I'm going to lean on everybody, right? I mean, this is not going to be this, one dictatorship running the whole deal. We'll run our show. We're going to be on time. We're going to be, we're going to be fan friendly, and we're going to have other stuff going on there that's going to put butts in the seats, and we're going to reap the benefits. God willing, that, the weather works out for us. There's a ton of stuff that can go wrong, as far as the attendance goes. So hopefully that part of it works out. But as far as the operations go, I've got Blake in my corner. I've got Todd's crew. I mean, we're from the announcers to the staging to the ambulance and all of those things. But from a promotional standpoint and from the show itself, it's going to be all up to us. So that's fun. I think I'm there to win that race, right? So somewheres I got to put the blinders on and pull aside, and someone from Blake's crew possibly could be there, as our front man, and just say, okay, handle this, and we go from there. So again, if we're fortunate and it works out, we're gonna supplement our purse, the money that we've always wanted. Now I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. Mike Fuller, Jim Murphy, and myself and Tom Sheelar, about 5-6 years ago, we all got together, and our design to get a sponsor for the Heritage Series was we need to get it on TV, right? It's the only way that we're going to get a sponsor. Michael went to PRI with Brian Hall this year, and you go to those guys, and if you're not on TV, if you don't have a presence, it's really tough to present anything to these to the vendors to help sponsor us, for Top Fuel, and everybody's looking, what's my return these days, right? It's so expensive and so forth. So we did our best. I mean, that was when we had Cole Kuntz and I'm totally blank.
With Bazemore.
With Bazemore, and so Cole and Witt. I mean, we could not have given that a better shot. Les Mayhew on board, doing the video, doing the live stuff, the politics with NHRA, doing the reunion. I mean, just to get the show done, it was like pulling teeth. But at the end of the day, we were not successful in getting it on TV as a series, as a Lucas Oil something or other. It just never clicked. So with that experience behind us, that's why I went this route to where, okay, if we can't get it on TV, how in the hell else can we raise some money for this class? And custom floaters. If you find an angel, somebody that just loves our class, and they're going to give us some money, great. But we need more than that. We need more than the single guy. So hopefully this will generate some pretty good zeros after the big number for all of us. So that's the background of it.
And so, with seeing this class grow and you being the head of it, I want to ask you, just kind of like, I've always wanted to ask you this: what is like your ideal number of races you think the top fuel cars should race in the season? And also, you mentioned, racing on TV. As we've seen with the funny cars and what they're doing, do you feel like the dragsters should also race at big show events and kind of go in that direction, or what's your opinion on that?
Yeah, I've done that. You're a small fish in a big pond when you go to the big show, and that's the thing. NHRA's core business is their shows, right? I don't know how many races they have. What, 25 races, something like that. The Heritage Series is a subset of that, and that's one of the things that Bobby Hilton and I get into is that it's not the same as it used to be. We are not the big show. We are a subset of the show. And we've got these wonderful pockets all throughout the U.S. that have us as a part of it. They, because nobody can afford to get the big cars there. So we're the next best thing. And I understand that. I want that to grow. But as far as going to the big show, I mean, if it's a 4-car, exhibition, that's fine. I think that the funny cars are looking to go to a number of events. It's a buy-in deal. Each car pays from $2,000 to $3,000 a piece to go in, and they race. It's like a little private group that's racing for the money. I'm not interested in that. I don't think most of our people are, and I can tell you from I'm in the athletic club business, and that's how I pay for my nitro, and 5-6 races a year. That's probably my max to get the crew, to have fun, to make it somewhat affordable. We've got some cars that race two races. We have some cars that run the entire series. Right? Well, they're fortunate enough with it that they can do that. So. Darren, to answer your question, I'm not in favor of going to the big show unless it's to promote our show someplace else, to promote the Nitro Revival, right? I mean, to get out there. It's on the cover of Hot Rod magazine, right? Incredible. So that's my goal. Michael, we got to get on the cover of Hot Rod magazine, right?
I'm on it. I'm on it then. All I need is a goal, and we're going to make that happen.
There's a drag race car on the cover of Hot Rod, and it's not a modern day car. That should be our goal.
We can't talk enough. I'm with Bobby on this deal. 6 races a year is a ton, and I'll even give you this on the other side of it is kind of like what he brought up was it's not necessarily the racing. It isn't the guy sitting in the car or even getting the car there. It's getting all the guys that got to come, because the majority of the guys that work with us have jobs. Like they have real lives. Like they're not paid employees of a Top Fuel team or a funny car team. So you've got to have them to go, and it's a ton to ask these guys to even go to 4 or 5 events a year. So yeah, man. 5 or 6 races, you get to see your buddies 6 months out of the year or 7 months out of the year, and it's a phenomenal feat just to do that.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, your driver says 12 races, so he says double that. He wants to go to 12 races a year.
Yeah, and I'll tell you,
it's because he's a driver. That's why.
Yeah. No, and that's there's so many different personalities out there, right? Our team owners, right? You've got out of the 25, Michael, what do we have? 25 teams total out in the
Yes, sir.
nation, something like that. You've got your guys that are absolute pure racers, right? They show up to the track, they want to rip somebody's throat out. They're there to race. Give me the rules, you go by the rules, that's it. I'm going to run. You've got other guys that are the Michael Andersons, right? I mean, they're there, they're going to run, they're going to be competitive. I'm going to build a new car, but I want the people part of it, right? I want that part to be part of what it is when I win a race. And when you start to just, that's two ends of the goalpost there, and all the stuff that's in between. And so, you got to corral all that, right? And you got to make it to where, everybody's treated fair. And, our biggest flashpoint are rules, right? We've been really fortunate that our rules have stayed the same for a number of years. But when something starts, it's rule creep, right? When, you get a little something here, a little something there, and it goes, sometimes not in the direction that's favorable to get new cars built. You've got the safety side from NHRA, which is horrible, right? I mean, and it's expensive, but Funny Car Chaos I think it was Funny Car Chaos that had a bad fire, and then all of a sudden new fire suits are now mandatory because of one event. So those things happen, but the group itself, some personalities are, like Adam, I need a new fire suit anyhow. I went out and got a new fire suit. It was no big deal. Other guys, I mean, it's a big expense, right? And it's what we have to do to keep the class growing. And again, it's about getting people to the track and having them want to come back for the next race. Whether they meet Michael, whether they meet Adam, whether they meet Pete Kaiser, whether they meet Pete Wittenberg, Brian Halls, all of these guys. There's a lot of new cars there too, and we need to get the word out. It's a good deal.
Yeah, and right now with the way that the group of guys that are there and kind of what I've seen, and you take and I'll just like Bobby's generation, then my generation, and then even like a Tyler Hester's generation, the thought process of how all this is going to go is goes like that, because everybody's got their own deal. But in the end, whenever everybody gets and sits down, it's like all we're really worried about is making it go forward. All the other stuff's just BS. What do we need to do to get this class to move forward, to grow, sustain itself, and still put on a great show? And I can't think of a better group of people right now that's involved in it to do that. I mean, everybody that I've talked to, social media wise is really wanting to be on board with what's going on. Bobby's kind of let, Hall in on the AAFD Facebook page. You'll start seeing a lot more social media posts on that. I'm helping out on the Extreme page too. So anything that we can do to get out what these cars are going to be doing and coming up, man, it seems like everybody's all about that happening. And it's been fun to watch really in the past year. I'm like 365 days into being a car owner and a half-ass driver. So it's been kind of fun to see what's going on, man. And Bobby's been like really good with me because I know I could be an overbearing ass whenever I start wanting to talk about something. And he just smiles at me and goes, "All right, Michael, whatever, let me know," or he'll tell me we ain't doing that. So, but it's cool to watch everybody, man. It's going to be. I'm just pumped, man. I'm like, is it time yet? Is it 30 days yet? Are we going to be in California? I've never wanted to go to California more in my life than the past couple of years. It's really weird. But I am coming.
And Darren, thanks to you. Right. I mean, this is the part of our whole class, right? Front engine top fuel is from yesteryear. Our yesteryear people are not our customers anymore. Right. I mean, there are fewer of them. They don't travel as much, so now we've got I go to Mike Fuller and I tell him, it's on the owner Facebook page. He just starts laughing. Right. He just goes, "You shitting me? What are you talking about, Facebook? Give me a phone. So you've got that part of the world, right? That these guys and our part of our crowd is there. And then there's part Generation Z, and then there's Gen X, and then it's crazy. And social media, it's like the voodoo of, of just this constant change of how do you get the word out, right? And it's nuts. And so, and even with our group, the Tyler Hester, Michael, who's the youngest driver we have?
Yeah, he's 27. I think 27.
Yeah. And then Murph's probably the oldest, right? He's up in 70
81, I think, right? Yeah. Hey, you know where he's at right now? Yeah. Murphy's in Tahiti, in Bora Bora right now.
Yeah. That's right. Well,
hey, and you know what? And Daniel is having to stay there and work on the car so they can go race while he's out there on the damn, Bora Bora. So hats off to you, Daniel, because I know he's watching the show. I love you, man.
No, absolutely. No, it's good.
There you go. So, Bobby, final question for me, and I want to say thank you again for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come on the show here tonight. You're a hard man to get a hold of. I just want to say that. But the final question for me, it's been a while since you've been in the winner's circle. I believe 2019 March meet, which we saw earlier, brung out a new chassis, an old new chassis last year, the Sterling chassis, semifinal or better at the end of last year. How confident are you guys that you can get yourself back in the winner's circle and give a run at that championship this year?
Yeah, so we're bringing out. We're keeping the Sterling car. We ran Tulsa and the Reunion, right? I think were the two races, and so we're keeping that car. It's prepped and it's ready. It's all certed and ready to go. Michael asked the other night, how in the hell did you run that 563? Well, we were running the 560s, but pretty much. Taking a set of heads with us every single pass. And so I had said, okay, enough of this. And the carnage and so forth it wasn't right. Tom Sheelar was setting the world on fire, and, and he was doing it the right way. I mean, it was incredible. So we took a turn and we started experimenting to save parts. To see, okay, let's back off here and so forth. And then I throw in a new car that I really underestimated the difference between the McKinney car and a Sterling car. And the small block just doesn't have the big arm in it, the brute torque that the Chryslers have. So it really took us for a loop. So we gave it, as good a shot as we could have, and just decided, that's not going to happen. It's just not going to work. So we went back to the Sterling car. I think off the trailer we were 570s and so forth. And but we were still using some old tune-up configurations to save parts, and so we made some adjustments to where we think we're going to be back into the 560 range. You got Hilton out there that's that car is certainly capable of 50s every run when Tony had it, when the Bartones and the Boggs had it. So that's going to be a car to deal with this year. That's where the bar's set. Jimmy's going to be there, and he's as stout as they get. Pete Kaiser's going to be driving that car. So, those are the top three cars right now that all of us are going to be running to. And we find ways to win. If I screw up, Adam makes me look good. And so with the champion crew, I mean, we're very excited. We're fresh. We got a lot of confidence coming off the Tulsa race and the Reunion. So, yep.
Adam's a killer on that start line, man. Adam, you killing him on that start line. Oh man.
I think he's got a trans brake in there. Is what I think. That's the only way that shit works. Right there. If it ain't a trans brake, it's a 2-speed out there whooping on everybody. You know, that's no. It's cool to watch, man. And I always say I'm just as big a fan as I am a racer, man. And I've always loved that car. It's a phenomenal car to watch and what it can do. And whenever I call or I text him and ask him about that, it was like a legitimate question. Like I wanted to know. I was like, how in the hell did that Chevrolet just run that number? And I was like, and it didn't even it didn't look like it tore up anything. I know it might have, but it wasn't the normal big explosion, fun time blow up. But I was just like, I think I watched it like 5 times. I was like, look at this damn car run. It is crazy. So I hope it does, man. I hope them guys, I know that they had a little bad luck at the Hot Rod reunion, and I feel like that they're going to come back and all the little keyways are going to be fixed on the oil pumps and shit. Everybody's going to get new keyways.
No, we're excited.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, Darren, what do you think, bud?
Sounds good.
I'm good, man. I think we've been on here about an hour and a half. I mean, it's you don't think it goes that quick, but it's it's pretty crazy how fast it goes.
Well, Michael, we still got to do some wrapping up to do, but Bobby, thanks again, man, and we'll see you at the March meet.
Okay, you guys, thanks again. Thanks for everything. Thanks.
Bobby.
See you, Bobby.
Bye-bye.
Man, West Texas Hustler, what a show, man.
That was a pretty good show. We got a lot of good info out there, and I mean, I feel like that this show is like the whole. We're breaking news all the time. Every other Wednesday, we got some kind of crazy news to throw out there. So, yeah, good dudes, man. I've been kind of behind the scenes a little bit on some of the stuff that's gone on, and got to hear it. And there's to get this deal to happen the way that it has. Those guys have worked their ass off to make it happen.
Yeah, for sure. And I want to thank everybody in the live chat for tuning in here tonight. I really do appreciate it. Dan Hicks actually had a question. I'm sorry I didn't get to it. There's so many people commenting. He said, who gets to run the late session Saturday on a sketchy track? So the way it's looking like right now, I think the run order is for Saturday night is funny car, fuel alter, top field in the show. So, but like Blake said, they're as soon as 4 o'clock comes, they're gonna go right the nitro cars, and kind of like how the big show does. We're staying on schedule, so hopefully the track will still be good and the nitro cars will be good, at a good certain time. And so also Michael Anderson. Guess who commented? My man, Buddy Hall, in the comments. Michael Anderson is my hero. How about that? Buddy Hall, top field driver. Buddy Hall. How cool is that?
Yeah, man. Another Texas dude, man. Me and Buddy have had some pretty good conversations, and he'll have some good news coming out a little later in the year, man. I try not to bother him too much about stuff. We'll text back and forth a little bit, but because he's getting ready to, I think, to go to Gainesville, right? Is he going to Gainesville? I think he was going to Gainesville, I believe.
I'm not sure of his schedule, but did you know Buddy Hall? Oh, were you gonna say?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, did you know Buddy Hall actually put my American Hot Rod Entertainment logo on his dragster at the Winter Nationals last year? Man, that was so cool.
I think I saw like the picture of it. No,
yeah.
No, he's a cool dude, man. Just the little bit, and Dylan, bought that car from him and all that stuff, and I think Dylan I always have hell saying his last name, but I think he just put out some stuff that he's gonna Wineski, that he's gonna be doing some test runs in a top fuel car.
That's what I hear. Yeah, that's cool.
Right?
Man.
Yeah. So
that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, cool for that dude, man. But yeah, Buddy Hall, cool dude, man. He wants to race with us. Deep down in his heart, he wants to come play with us. That's what the deal is.
Hey, he used to drive a fuel altered called Drastic Plastic. And then he's driven a front engine dragster before also. So Buddy Hall's been behind the wheel some front engine cars in his career for sure.
Well, man, I hope to see him. I hope to see him later on. Maybe he'll come play with us.
All right, so I don't want to start no drama, but my man Dar Harthorne is in the chat, man, and I love Dar Harthorne because I seen him at MPMC just last week in Anaheim, and he got a comment. He says former kings of the sport, man. Dar Harthorne, throw some shots, man.
I think Dar's a big funny car guy, right? My understanding. I haven't ever got to meet Dar before, so I got nothing to say. But I think he's a big funny car guy. I love it. Hey, if anytime somebody's on there, just blah blah blah. But I'm going to tell you right now, there's only one king of the sport. There's only one, and it's the one that started all of it. So, but that's cool, man. Everybody like what you like. Whatever series, whatever deal you want to be involved in. I think it's kind of cool what they're doing, that Legends deal, man, too.
Yeah.
You know, getting on that different stage. It's kind of fun to watch. And plus, you know, I like those old looking funny cars, you know.
Yeah.
It's fun to see them out there, and probably if you walk by them all whenever they're there, the crowd's probably more around those older looking funny cars than the big show ones anyway.
Nah, for sure. And I'll tell you what, I love the whole NHR Heritage Series as a whole. I love the Top Fuel cars. I love the funny cars. I love the fuel alters. I'm really cool. I like Bobby Cottrell, Corey Lee, James Day, Kamaka Pocock, Billy Morris. Love all those guys. And so we are going to start sprinkling them in, you know, on this show as well to give the funny car guys some love in the future. So we'll get them on very soon. But I saw a comment. I want to put it up. So, Pete Winterberg had a great comment, so I just want to.
What is it? I mean, dude, that guy, he is. Is he still on there? Or is this like? I mean, because you know, not too long ago, he was like, "What show are you talking about, Michael?" I was having to send him the damn link, but now he just knows to get on the thing. And
yeah,
and I'm excited for him. He'll be out there. He's another one of them big hitters, man. 2-time winner. Going to be out there. I know he's going to be looking for some blood out there on this deal. It's going to be crazy to watch some people. I bet there's going to be some Pistons ate up at this one.
Oh man, it's going to be fun, man, and I'm looking forward. Like Tyler Hilton's the man. You think about it, Tyler Hilton, 2 runner-ups at the March Meet, runner-up in 2020 and in 2021. So has been in the final 2 out of the last 3 years. And you saw in the intro video, he said, "We'll see you in March." So him and his dad Bobby, they're coming for some redemption at the March Meet. They'll be running hard. So we'll see how it all plays out. But like you said, you got Pete Windenberg, man, a bad dude. You got Adam Sorokin. You got Brian Hall. You got all these great dudes. I mean, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. Sean Bowen. I mean,
Sean Bowen.
Brett Williamson. Yeah.
Brett Williamson.
I mean,
yeah.
This is
Jimmy Young coming?
He is.
Oh, Jimmy Young. Oh man, this is about to be fun. Oh man.
Mike Taylor will be there too. Another back
Mike
east,
Taylor?
you know, Chicago car. I mean, cars run 580s. I mean,
Tyler
it's
Hester?
you know, Tyler Hester, man. Like I'm feeling it for old Tyler. I talked to his uncle today for a while, man. I think he's coming. He's coming for some. Rick McGee, he coming for some blood. I think he been sitting around thinking about how he going to make this thing run some 550. So, you know, it'll be fun to watch these guys. You know I mean, they're going to be running together, especially if he puts that big old trophy sitting out there and everybody walks by it and he's like, they ain't going to worry about that $500 in the semis. I'm going to tell you that right now. They're going to be worried about what the hell that trophy sitting on there up on that wall is going to look like. Shane Stewart. Hey, Shane Stewart is going to be there. You know, second run ever, 585, 258. 258. That's insane. I mean, he almost won the money for the mile per hour. And then Kaiser comes in with a 259, and I was like, oh my God. So exciting times at Top Fuel, buddy.
And so we're about to get out of here now. I mean, it's hour and 37, so we gotta get out of here. But one last thing, because Mike English, the voice of the March Meet, has been in the live chat as well. And you know, one thing I love that Mike English says. So Bob Fry and Mike English are the 2 main dudes who say this. But when they mention Top Fuel, they go Top Fuel Eliminator. I love when he says that. So I've stolen that from both of them. And then also Mike English says dipping into the twilight zone. I love when he says that. When a guy goes like 560 or has a big speed, dipping into the twilight zone. I love when he says that. So shout out to Mike English. I love it.
Yeah, man. He was on another show not too long ago, and I hopped on there and got on there and put a little deal out. I was like, it was really cool to hear my name called out on the loudspeaker by him for the first time at the Hot Rod reunion. Like, it's cool, man. Those guys are just staples. That you get used to. Man, we had a rodeo announcer that was like that back whenever I was in my 20s and early 30s. Man, that like if you was at a rodeo, you knew exactly who was talking, and that's how those guys are at this race, man. And isn't Donnie Couch? Did somebody say Donnie Couch was going to be tuning on a car in the 590 deal?
So Donnie Couch will be tuning Eiley Stafford's rear engine top fuel dragster. Mark Bajorn is the owner, and he'll be tuning that car. So not only will he be announcing, but he'll be tuning at the March Meet as well. Donnie Couch. So yeah, the legend, another voice of the March Meet.
Yeah. That's going to be cool, man. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. Legends of Nitro 265 mile an hour club has a few spaces available.
I think he said 6. I think he said 6 earlier.
Okay.
He said 6 spots available. Yeah.
I wonder how many cars they're trying to run in that Legends deal. Is it they trying to have eight car field, or I haven't heard. I didn't see anything.
Well, no, he's saying in the top field class, there's still 6 spots available in the 265 mile per hour club. So in top field, there's still 6 spots available. Yeah.
Gotcha. I was like, holy shit. Well, that's crazy, man. It's gonna be exciting times. It's gonna be a lot of stuff to cover.
There you go. One last comment before we got here. Cole says Mike English is our Fry. So I love both of them. Bob Fry, Mike English. I love them all. And then Brian Hall says the 265 club is on my list, Dar. Missed it by 2 miles per hour. So Brian Hall going for the 265 mile per hour club.
Yeah, I think he went 263 like in his first go. Something like that. I think is what he ended up running. He did like a Shane Stewart deal.
Okay, seriously, we're about to get out of here. But Brian, can we see an appearance from Ron Capps at the March meet? I'm sorry, I just want to know. Can we see Ron Capps at the March meet this year? Before we get out of here, I want to see if he responds. So, guys, we gotta wait on it now. Wait on his response. Hey,
he's probably sitting there having a Jameson drink, or a Slurpee, one or the other. What he needs to do is be working on his car, but he ain't got no motors. He had to take 4 motors to the machine shop all at one time.
Gotcha. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you for tuning in here tonight to episode 5 of Kings of the Sport. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thank y'all. Everybody.